Welcome back to the kickoff. And I have to say, just on a personal note, one of the best things about having YouTubers as mates is when their team loses, you get to tune into their channels, see the meltdown. And yesterday, it was a fucking great day for me. It was so entertaining. Thank you, especially KJ and Joey. Just legendary head loss moments I got to witness. I start with Man United because this was the season where the suffering was over, according to Amarim, at the end of last season. To be fair to KG, me and him did both say he had to go at the end of last season. He actually called this spot on, and he redeemed himself after the Ten Hag debacle. I think the saddest thing for me about this game, for a Man United perspective, was Brentford weren't even that good in the game. This is a version of them where they've had their best players taken from them. They've got a set-piece coach with his first managerial job, and yet still found a way to beat Amarim's men. You just go through the goals before we cover the overall situation. 2 goals where Thiago is completely unmarked. The Man United defence are just all over the shop. And it's not even like good creative build-up. It's just booted up, proper Sam Allardyce shit. What do we make of those 2 opening goals for Brentford?
Can I say how I feel?
Yeah.
Thank you, because I was here last week chatting the most shit, and I saw the comment section. I was like, KG, getting a bit far, mate. You're acting as if you support a good team, and it was fun because it was great to kick Joey. That's all. Sorry, it was great to kick Josh, kick Joey. I called these guys, and then my team, these pricks, that Amarim guy, yeah, I hate him. This morning, I'm still wound up. This man, yeah, decides to play Maguire in the middle, high line. And do you know what he said? We've got a week to look at this team. They're great in the transition. Excuse my language. What is Maguire doing there? And you saw the first goal, he tries to play the offside trap. It's the weakest one. And he's looking down the line. It's a disgrace. And there's people that want to give him a new contract. Absolutely not. It's taken him 2 years to grow into his Man United shirt. How long is it going to take after the contract? This manager.
If only you had a young athletic centre-back you could play. I mean,
if only we had one that's on the bench, Lenny Euro. But then guess what? This manager still, his first substitution is a centre-back at 60-something minute, and no one understands why he does it. It's his thing. They say, well, he does this every game. They've actually tracked it and said this is the 35th
he did it
time.
42 times out of 47 games, something like that. It was like 40.
What's the point?
Crazy amount.
What is there? This man does not know. I'm just going to say it now. He actually doesn't know what he's doing. He's lied to us. We've been catfished. We've been catfished by a guy. Yes, he wears lovely name brand clothes, Moncler, and he's got nice hair, you know what I mean? And we've been done by the hair. We've been done by the accent, and he's worse than Glenn Roeder. He's worse than Neil Warner. He's worse. You might as well bring in any old Newcastle manager that you hated. You could bring him into a better job.
Actually, Glenn Roeder was quite decent compared to him. For real. Shout out R.I.P. Glenn Roeder, by the way. I love him.
R.I.P. Glenn Roeder.
5 defenders at the back still can't defend, and you spend 200 million on an attack, and even the attack, it doesn't look great. Obviously, you got back into the game with a Sesko goal, but the Sesko goal wasn't.
He had 3 fucking tries at it. I'd have voted to a score by then.
Show dedication.
Bless him. It wasn't like great build-up play. You get a penalty after Mbeumo was pulled down. Bruno, what a powder puff of a shot that was, man. Penalty taker. 2 penalties in a row he's missed. What you feeling at that moment, KG?
You know, it's and that's the thing about football. It's the hope that kills you, innit? They say that. And I'm telling you now, I said, this is it. This is our moment. Because I really believed we're going to come back into this game and win it. Yeah. I'm watching Bruno on the line and I'm thinking, it's Bruno Fernandes. Yes, this is a long time to wait, but you're Bruno Fernandes. Ice in your veins. You don't miss penalties. You score the hop skip one and you can tell he's mentally damaged. Bruno is damaged goods now. I think that 15th season, we haven't even assessed what that means, the PTSD that those players have. And I hate the fact new players are having it. I'm looking in the eyes of Mbeumo, Cunha's saying things that the old players said. It's on us. I don't want to hear that from you. You just arrived. Play good. What do you mean it's on us? I don't want to hear it's on us. Mbeumo looks shell-shocked. These guys, they look like Man United players, it looks like that stink that happens. You know, bro, I've lost all hope. I don't know why. I come on these shows.
They should have sold Bruno. You should have sold him. I'm sorry, KG. This summer, you could have sold Bruno and you could have got Baleba.
And guess what would happen?
Imagine if you'd done that.
No, because
imagine if you actually brave.
Nobody can play in this system, guys. We have to understand it's shit.
I don't just think it's the system, though. I think it's also the coaching and the fact that I just don't think he gets his message, or what. I don't even know if his message is even one that he believes at this point, because when you look at how much he shuffles the team round, everyone's revolving around the pitch. Like, he's moving there. And if you imagine, like, even when we've played on football games and we're the manager of a team, when you start doing a lot, it's because you're out of ideas.
Yes.
And that, for me, was glaringly obvious in how many players he shuffled around in this game. He was in full panic mode.
Out of the four of us, three of us are mad into boxing in terms of just watching it and talking about it. Look at my manager's body language. It's the worst body language of anyone. Just imagine you're turning to the sidelines for hope and you got him in the crouching position. I could put a picture of Ruben, hand on his head, and at least 100 will come up. And that's from last season. Let's talk about this.
Did I see he didn't watch the Bruno Fernandes penalty either?
He didn't watch it.
No.
Even that's bad body language as well. Like, Jose Mourinho would not turn around and not watch the penalty. It's like just...
Every top manager. The one at Old Trafford with his feet up, looking fed up. Like, what are you doing with your feet up? Like, it's such he's a bizarre character. And look, I do think he has been a bit of a
Sack
fraud.
him.
Yeah,
Sack him now.
Well,
wow.
Obviously the third goal went in, and another thing that we haven't even mentioned, aside from the fact that the defence and attack on clicking and Bruno Fernandes is being played out of position, is the goalkeeper who you bought for 18 million can't get a game, and yet Bayern Dia has a shot from Jensen right at him towards the end of and it's weird because you can see Bayern Dia sort of, you know, when they're doing this thing, and the kid takes the shot well early, totally catches him off guard, but it is straight at him. But because he's in the middle of bouncing up and down, like Brock Lesnar or something, he's totally wrong-footed, and it comes straight at him. If he just stood up, he would have fucking saved it. And the mad thing is he did actually make a couple of good saves earlier to keep the fucking scoreline down.
We could have been, honestly, without Bayern Dia, we could have lost that game 5-something.
Yep.
You know, and that's the truth of it.
So no offense, but against relegation favourites, they're up there with some of the favourites.
We lost to a set-piece coach, and everyone knows how to play us. Even in that Liverpool game, you can say that Liverpool went in at half-time, and I don't know, they must have got a rollicking, but they came out better. Man United went in, came out still stupid, still silly, still slow, still lacking anything, There was a moment I was watching the game and I said, hang on, are we winning here? Because the way we're moving the ball about, honestly, I said, you know something that we don't know? Because I know the score says 2-1 and I'm seeing them shuffle it around the back, Maguire to Shaw to Dalot. And I'm like, wait, shouldn't we've got a brand new attack over 200 million up front. Sesko, Mbumo, Cunha, and Cunha dropped the world level stinker. It was terrible. Garbage. It was stinker.
And Buemo didn't even get on the ball really either.
Kill me.
Okay, we'll paint a bigger picture now of Amarim's time, because I do think his time's up now, and it's just a matter of time. Ten Hag finished 8th, and that was the worst finish in 34 years. And yet Amarim hasn't even been in the top half of the table since he arrived.
Amarim came in and said, "Hold my beer."
Yeah. Points per game,
really
bro. Points per game, Ten Hag 1.7. Amarim basically 1 point a game. And you look at the 33 games, I think roughly he's had, I'm saying this because I got this off Twitter real quick before we started. 33 games for Amarim, 9 wins, 17 losses, 7 draws, never won back-to-back games.
Let Spurs win a European trophy. You got to add that on there.
Yeah. I'm going to come to Josh, because at the end of last season, me and KG were stressing that we thought you needed to go. Josh was on the cautious side of, you're constantly sacking managers. It's not the way to go. What do you make of this situation now, and what do you think Manchester United should do next?
Well, do you know what? I'm actually quite excited for Man United. I think this is a really good opportunity for you, KG. You should be quite enthused at the moment because
you'll take it.
I think there are two things. No, listen to me for a second, KG, because I'll explain this to you, right? There's two things that you really need as a manager right now. You need Premier League experience. You need someone that's been there, done it, been around the houses, knows what they're doing.
It.
And you also need some tactics.
Recent Premier League experience as well.
Recent Premier League experience. Listen. You need someone with tactical innovation. You need someone that's doing things differently. You need someone that's moving around
the game,
there's a Premier League manager.
Rusty, do you know what I mean? You want someone
that is available.
Hit the ground running.
Right now, he can come in right now and do a fantastic job, KG. This is so exciting for you.
I can't wait. I can't wait for the Chelsea section because you're not going anywhere, you pricks.
Can I just say, KG, I've never drafted a text message as quickly as I did yesterday. In fact, I had it loaded in the kickoff group from about Thursday night, just ready to just go, I hope you're happy now, KG. I hope you're happy now. I hope you enjoyed your week of celebrations because I'm back.
Do you know what?
I'm ready to say it.
No,
you had 1 week of celebration, KG, and that is it. I told you you'd be relegation form. You came for Chelsea. We're shitting off, but you are worse, KG. You're worse.
Listen. The maddest thing about this, right, is this isn't just banter, because the BBC Sport Twitter have just said Man United are reportedly considering Graham Potter, and this is not bullshit, like as a surprise appointment. I'm not even sure. You can see it on the BBC Sport Twitter right now, bro. KG, it's not banter at all.
If you had a choice between Graham Southgate,
or Potter,
Graham Potter,
who goes hybrid.
Syphilis. That's like syphilis, or what's that one they said? You're asking me for different syphilis or gonorrhea, mate.
God.
Wait, hold on. BBC Sport. It's got to be the joke one.
He's fact checking it, Brian.
I'm not joking.
He's fact checking it.
I couldn't believe it. I thought this got to be a wind up. This.
They definitely stabilised.
Oh my God! 2 hours ago, Man United reportedly considering surprise.
Do you know what it is? Just quickly, I was a Man United fan. If without the context, with just how it had gone, and Ruben Amarim, I understand that the league he was in wasn't the strongest. He did batter Man City in the game before he signed for Man United or became Man United manager. He also did want to have them see out the rest of the season so he could come in the summer. If it wasn't for the context of his body language specifically, which is what we started speaking on, I would actually be like, nah, do you know what? The same rhetoric as Josh was saying, hiring and firing managers doesn't work. You adapt a new philosophy, buy for that new philosophy, and then when the next one comes in, they've got a different one, and you got fucking square pegs for round holes and whatnot. But it's just the body language, the defeated mentality. That thing of it is just why I actually, as a Man United fan, would feel like, yeah, go on, fuck it off then.
He said he wants to walk. He said sack me more than 4 times, and he's only been here under a year. I've never heard. You only heard that from Conte when he was fed up. He was at Spurs and he's like, maybe I'm not good. He was asking himself some questions and he said, maybe they should let me go. But that's a man that was at the end of his tether. I don't know if this guy's coming or going. And they said, sack me. And then mysteriously, the next week in the next press conference, I didn't mean it. How many times? I can't trust you. You can't lead.
He's not a leader of men, right? And this is the bottom line. And we spotted that very early when he started coming out with the first red flag was that this is the worst Manchester United side ever.
Yeah.
And that immediately said to me, you haven't got what it takes to be Manchester United manager. Yeah. Immediately. Because this is the most pressurized club outside of Real Madrid in world football. And you are immediately showing you've got a defeatist mentality and you're not a manager. Now, we do have to get on to Chelsea, right? Because as bad as Manchester United are, Chelsea couldn't even beat them. Right, they've got their own problems, right, lads? I want to talk about one of the key moments of the match because Chelsea were 1-0 up through a nice header by Enzo, but Chalobah was sent off a tackle last man back. Some say it was a coming together. Josh said in the WhatsApp group yesterday, didn't think it was a penalty. You've had a chance to rewatch it. Joey, you've watched it. What say you, boys? Do you think it was a penalty? A sending off rather. Was it a sending off?
I'll just give my honest answer, which is not one that really suits much logic for football. My honest answer is, if it was against me, I'm fucking appealing for it and I'm saying it's a red card and a penalty. If it's for me, I'm saying it's not. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, when he goes through, in the moment, I genuinely thought, and you saw my reaction to it, right? I genuinely went, VAR can check that, that's fine. I know for a fact, I've seen that. He's gone over easy. He lost his footing.
This is so funny, by the way. When I was watching, it was like, don't worry about it. Check it. It was so overconfident.
I was that confident because I thought you made a meal of that and you've just tried to win the penalty. You've gone over. Trevor Chalobah, I see the way that there was no force. There was a free kick that was given shortly before it and it was for a barge on someone and you can see the force go into them and there's nothing of that. The guy's lost his footing. Then they start playing it from this different angle and I'm like, that's the one you're going to show him when he goes to the monitor, aren't you? You're going to slow like that. You're going to show him that angle. And then I'm looking at it and I'm trying to save face. I don't want to look like too much of an idiot on my stream, but at the same time, I'm going, starting to look like a bit of a penalty, actually, that one. So, listen, shot myself in the foot there. One thing I will say just before I say that is we had 10 men on the pitch at the time. Reece James, it was a precautionary thing. I thought they only make you come off the pitch when you have a head clash now. For some reason, because Reece James went down, they made him come off the pitch for a second. We've got 10 men on the pitch. Andre Santos, young, experienced player. He fucks up bad, right? But he is a young, experienced player. He's just come in. He's had to divert into Reece James's role, basically. And he's given away the ball in a moment where he shouldn't have. So it's once again, it's what we all said after the Bayern Munich match. Not saying that can be forgiven, but, you know, it's Bayern Munich. We all said it after the Man United match, and now we're all saying it after this match. Yeah, there was a game against Lincoln City in there where we didn't look too bad, but it's Lincoln fucking City.
I need to get Josh's opinion on this or was it a sending off? Because he didn't think
it was 100% a sending off. This is the thing. I have to say, like, obviously I'm in the ground. I actually didn't even watch the replay until this morning. When I watched it in the ground, it did feel like a coming together, and it felt okay. And I'll tell you what it was. It was the way that the ball moved away and towards the goal, which made me feel that Trev got his foot on it, but then having watched it, he's just come through the man. Like, it's a sending off. But I have to say, like, what the part that annoys me, and maybe this is just a complete separate point, but the way that it then takes 11 minutes, you know, of added time to get to that point to make the decision. It honestly, like, being there, and you boys have been in the ground as well, like, it ruins the experience of the ground. It means that we then have 12 minutes after the match as well. Like, it's just and I have to say, and this isn't against us, this is actually for Brighton fans. The referee was crap. Yeah. The referee was absolutely awful.
Can I jump in here? Because I want to know about the consistency, because I didn't want to give Ruben any excuses because I don't think he deserves it with that lost record that he has. But now let's look at this. The same game, our game, Mbumo gets taken down, Brentford, in the box, and they don't send him off.
There was a yellow card. It's a joke.
It's a joke. If you look at
Voldemort had the same thing happen last week. They didn't even get a foul on him.
Yeah, but you can't tell me. It goes to VAR. What are they doing in there? Because I'm like, do you lot have we got True Geordie on VAR saying don't send him off? Because that's what it feels like. It feels like we've got a Newcastle fan up there saying, nah, nothing in it. Yeah? That's what I'm saying. Because you can't tell me he doesn't walk. It's a red card. He denied a goal scoring opportunity. There's no double jeopardy. What are you lot thinking? And then the answer was he's not in full control of the ball. Well, the man running in the Brighton game, he touches it once, but he's not in full control of the ball. So why does Chalobah have to leave? And then Collins gets away with it. It stinks.
You're spot on, mate. And unfortunately, we could be here all fucking day on about these useless twats. One thing that happened again for Chelsea is Enzo Maresca reacts in a cowardly way, and he doesn't have any belief in the team to still salvage anything. And who did he take off? Sorry, he took off all the creative players.
He took off Santos, Esteval, Hato, and Pedro Neto. Basically the two wingers again.
He didn't put on Gittins. He didn't put on Garnacho. The ambition immediately goes. And at the first sign of adversity, Maresca, I'm sure as a Chelsea fan, there's a frustration of just the giving up of it.
Yeah, and he put on Malo Gusto, which is like, at this moment in time right now, there's a thing with Chelsea fans where we just look at the bench. we see Malo Gusto coming on and we just think, for fuck's sake, what are you doing? Because there was a time, right? I remember me and Josh used to have a conversation where at first Josh, and probably rightly so, probably because Maresca's getting his tactics wrong, but Josh said to me, Malo Gusto and Reece James can't play on the same pitch. I said, they can. I said, Reece will play more central. He plays out wide, whatever. He's bringing Malo Gusto on at a time when we need to salvage the game. Like by the way, at this point, I think when he first makes this change, we're still 1-0 up. We don't even go 1-0 until the 72nd minute.
Yeah,
so we're winning the game. You need an attacking threat. I understand that, like, when we went down to 10 men in both matches, I said, right, that'll be Esteval off because he's young, first season, you're bringing him in, sort of thing. I can half understand it, even though I wouldn't make it. He subs Andre Santos off, who actually gave away the foul. Then once he brings our attacking players off, he brings Malo Gusto on. So you got Malo Gusto one side and Enzo Fernandez the other side. Now, I get Enzo Fernandez scored the goal, but I wouldn't class him as much of an attacking option. He's got fucking Garnacho doing shuttle runs up the halfway line from the 30-minute mark, and he brings on a player whose best goal for Chelsea is Josh.
He's never scored for Chelsea.
Never scored.
He's never scored in his professional career. Joe.
Never scored in his professional career.
Yeah.
Never scored in his professional career.
Yeah.
Now, what Malo Gusto is half decent at is whipping balls into the box. You've not got no one on the pitch you've not got a Liam Delap there. You've got a João Pedro that's playing central defensive midfield, basically. It's just a fucking another one where this is the thing, right? I don't mind getting beat. Right? If it's a match, I don't mind getting beat. I hate getting beat. But if it's a match like Fulham at home last season, really when we're leading the game and whatever, and then right at the end we get shell-shocked, 2 late goals, whatever. But I'm fucking sick and tired of watching Chelsea games where I know what's going to happen after half hour of the game, something like that. Whenever it started the first half yesterday when we got the sending off, you've then got to sit and watch 40 odd minutes of a game where you're like, well, now you know what's happening. And not only that, we're not showing the ambition and the fight to go, do you know what? Considering the amount that, and I don't want to bring cost into it and that, but you have to look at it and you have to go, considering the amount of not only our value of our squad, just the fact that when I look at it, we've got a better squad than them, a better bench than them, better team than them, even 10v11. Have I lost my mind to say that Chelsea should be able to hold on to a lead against Brighton?
The reason being, even earlier this season, Newcastle had Liverpool on the fucking ropes.
Yeah, that was crazy.
With 10 men. If you have the fight, desire and belief in your team, you absolutely can salvage something. And like you say, or go down swinging and at least show something. Now,
just to finally put
it comes from the manager. Hold on, let me jump in here because you lot have talked about body language and attitude, yeah? We saw the manager shit the bed against us. Now, the next game that he plays, he changes everything. It sends a message to these players. We can't hold on to this. I've got rid of all the attacking players. So I'm almost telling the players, don't attack, consolidate. And all that's doing is they're in a defensive mindset and they're not going to win the game. When Newcastle have anything, a setback, they're still going for it. They're still saying, you know what, let's still attack anyway and see what happens. There's a difference.
I've got some stats I need to read out just to put the context on everything about Maresca's situation. And then I'll let you go, lads, because 3 defeats in a row against Brighton is not really his fault, but I don't know if all of them came under him, but that's not looking good. Last Chelsea league win was a month ago against Fulham, and I don't even think they played great in that game personally. And if you don't count the Lincoln City win, which wasn't a good performance either, in the last 4 games, Brentford they drew, Bayern they lost, Man United they lost, Brighton they lost. They've had one good performance this season, in my opinion, Chelsea, and it came against West Ham, who everyone have beaten. And the World Club Cup form looked electric. It had everyone thinking, maybe this is it. Chelsea spent a lot of money. We debated this on the kickoff. I don't think Joy was on that one, but Jacob raised some points about the lack of goals in this Chelsea team they wouldn't have enough firepower to challenge for the title this season. And in my opinion, Jacob is already being proven right already. Because Chelsea should be kicking on now. And I'm not saying they should be challenging for the title all the way, but the fact that they're already out of the title race now and they've not even got started this season, I think it stinks. And I think
it's a disgrace.
It absolutely is a disgrace, in my opinion. This is Chelsea and the standards of Chelsea, and I hear it, and I'm going to put it on yous now.
Yes.
Joy and Josh, I listen to your podcast religiously. It's a great podcast, by the way. My favourite guest is Josh, by the way. And I will say, I hear the rhetoric, the Chelsea rhetoric of the boasting about how much profit and how good businessmen you are. But what I don't hear is we're buying players to win a Premier League title. Roman Abramovich bought players to win Premier League titles. You're not doing that anymore. It's all about increasing value of the squad. And it's bullshit, in my opinion.
Well, Roman Abramovich was into his 5th season without winning a Premier League title. So even just before Roman had gone, it had become a lot harder. It had become a different market. At the same time as that, I agree with you. Like, that should be our ambition now to be doing so. However, at this moment in time, unless you're saying Liverpool definitely won the title now, then. No. So if you still,
but Chelsea are definitely out of it.
If you still include Man City and Arsenal, then Chelsea are 2 points off of them in the.
No, don't do that, Joey. You know, in your heart of hearts,
do I think that Chelsea are going to win the Premier League title? No. Do I think that we're going to win the league title? No,
this is not happening.
But at the same time,
this is not happening. I'm not going to allow you lot to gaslight us again, bro. This stinks. You lot don't like your team. If we weren't here, let's say you took me and Brian out here and you're being honest about things, you're poorly built. Right now, you're looking at Nico. Yes, you are poorly built. You're talking about Gusto. You're talking about all these players that are not really delivering. You've got a manager that shits the bed when times get hard. And I'm telling you, someone that stinks, I can smell another stinky team. And I'm looking at you guys and you lot know in your heart of hearts, no winning 3 is crazy for Chelsea. You told us to call you, hold on, you told us to call you world champions. Oh, we beat PSG. We did all this other stuff.
You have to call us world champions for 4 years.
In the league proper, after spending £1 billion, you still look shaky. You don't look good. I don't know what winger's the best winger. You sold your probably better winger to Arsenal because Madueke's better than Gittins. Madueke currently is better than Garnacho. Garnacho doesn't even see the pitch. I don't know what's going on with Pedro Neto, why he always has to come off the pitch. You lot, in your heart of hearts, you know. Right. And then you got a development striker in Delat. So you can't tell me with everything you've done, yes, you make a lot of money.
Firstly, you said our squad's built bad. Our squad ain't built bad at all. At the moment, we've got key injuries. We've got Levi Colwill, who was our best defender last season. We've got no one to pair him with. Wesley Fofana, who was the defender we spent the most money on, who, when he has played, no one's saying that he hasn't looked good when he's played. The problem is he hasn't been available.
He never plays.
He hasn't been available. Romeo Lavia is a brilliant player when he plays. Problem is he never plays. When you say we're built badly, right, that's not actually right. The spine of our team's built very well. The depth of our team's built very well. We're performing badly. You can definitely say that about us. We're not built badly at this moment in time, and that's why I'm not panic stations at this moment in time. If you said
you're supposed to be challenging for the title with the amount of money you're spending, right? That's a fact. That in my opinion,
is it a fact though? When before the season, no one said that they fancied Chelsea as a title. But outside the fan base, outside the fan base. So firstly, I know for a fact that the fan base weren't saying it, but outside of the fan base, you didn't say you'd half fancy Chelsea for a title. KG didn't say.
I absolutely thought that Chelsea would be knocking on the door this season, and the reason being is the amount of money you're spending. You assume the level of quality is going to reflect that. I agree with both sides in that to say Chelsea are built badly, it's a little bit of a vague point. So let me just try and make it more precise. I think Chelsea have bought a lot of decent players. I don't look at their team and go, they've got a load of shit players, but what they're lacking is those stand up and be counted characters, leaders who are going to drive you on to win a Premier League title. And I think that is a deliberate thing. They've not gone and tried for that because they're too invested in their head in getting young players who are going to increase in value, sell them on later for a profit. They're not trying to win a Premier League title as a group of
what no one is talking about, and what really annoys me, because Carragher said this as well, right? And you keep going on the money point, and like it does grate on us slightly. The reason why is we are under restrictions right now under UEFA, where we have to almost have a revolving door policy for the amount of money that we bring in. We have to sell the players to be able to do it, and to be able to buy players as well. So this fact of we haven't gone and bought a Donnarumma, who we were never going to buy, who's on 200 grand plus a week, right? You keep beating us over the head with this thing. We can't go out there and buy all of these players. We can't go out there and buy the best of the best. What we're doing is we're trading players. We're having to sell lots of different players, bring in lots of different players to rejuvenate the squad because we don't have the match day income. We don't have the sponsorship income right now. And you can absolutely slag off the people that are responsible for that, right?
That's
you
what
can
I'm going to say, because whose falls that on that UEFA's giving you a ban? Is that because you lot were cheating or something?
No, UEFA just made the rule that last, wasn't it? More or less.
So they just decided to make it hard for Chelsea because
it's not even okay.
It's because you fucking won an FA Cup, you prick. That's why.
The money is part of it, but it's really irrelevant. Like, I'm not even thinking that much about money in terms of, I understand Chelsea with the amount of money they've spent over however many years, you would have thought that they'd be more threatening by now, especially because they had a decent season last season. But it's Chelsea. Like, I don't understand why the ambition is so different.
Right, our net income, because you run a business in this way. You don't just look at the turnover of the business. You look at the profit of the business, right? Newcastle spent 94 million euros more than us, right? So don't beat us over the head like that. Like, look at Arsenal. Arsenal spent 283 million.
You're talking about this summer just gone?
Yes.
I'm talking about since Blue Coat took over and the investment that they have put into the club, including selling training grounds, selling hotels. Let's not compare Chelsea to Newcastle. That's a ridiculous comparison.
That's like me having an argument with my missus and bringing something I done 5 years ago. Like, at the end of the day, that's like me saying I've done the dishes 6 years ago. I'll like somewhere in the middle. I'll like somewhere in the middle of Brian and Josh, by the way.
Because we spend so much money, we actually spend less than Fulham, West Ham, Burnley, Leeds, Nottingham Forest,
I listen to,
Everton.
I hear you say about like how productive Chelsea are being as a club in terms of increasing value. It's bullshit. It's irrelevant. I don't even care about money. So
we live in this world.
Have you got a squad that can challenge for a title when you should be by now, given how much they've spent over the last 5 years?
We don't live in 2000 where you can just spend as much as you want. We are constrained by the system. Mate, we all sat around the table and we said PSR isn't good for the Premier League. Yeah. I was of the opinion we should go out there and spend whatever we want. I'm happy for you to do it.
Can I just say, for the point for Brian's making,
to say now that we have to fit within the system, we should spend all this money. We can't.
I'm not saying you should spend this money. I'm saying it's been spent. Where the fuck are the good players?
There are good players there. There are good players.
There's a load of good players.
Title-winning players,
this is the point that Brian's making, right? Say, for example, if you look at two of our players if you combine it on 15 million per player and we're looking at it and we're going, yeah, we can double our money on that, or we could make a 10 million profit on that. When you're doing 8 or 9 of them per transfer window, why can't you just sacrifice it down to 5 or 6 of them and bring in, let's say, for example, a Mark Gahey, who would have been a player that we could have got on the cheap, because I think we had a sell-on clause included in his contract, which probably meant that if you sold him back to yourself, it would be like a buyback clause or something like that. Could have got him on the cheap, Premier League proven, ready for the here and now, went out there at the last Euros and done a good job for England on a major stage, so you can see that he can play in, at the highest level. You could go out there and you could make a few of these signings in between, whereas what we're actually ending up with is a transfer saga that goes on, a transfer window that has a saga that goes on throughout the whole of it over to attacking players, when the actual words that came out of our manager's lips was never about either of them originally. He said he wanted a centre-back. We never got the centre-back for him. And then you end up going and having a saga that goes on with Xavi Simons and Garnacho. You get Garnacho and even he don't get a fucking look in the team. And I get there's context behind it because obviously the red card in the last few matches, but it's just fucking poor decisions all over.
I'll just make two points then. I've just quickly pulled up the squad value table in the Premier League. Chelsea's squad is worth over $1 billion. And the only other clubs in that bracket are Liverpool, City and Arsenal. Liverpool, City and Arsenal, in my opinion, if you look at the last few years, have been more serious in terms of trying to win a Premier League title. Chelsea are the only one out of them where I'm hearing now, and I'm watching all the Chelsea fans' reactions yesterday, because they've got good YouTubers, to be fair, is our goal has just changed. After that game, they're all saying Champions League is the goal.
Yeah.
Now, Chelsea are the only club in that bracket whose goal is now can we get Champions League instead
Those
of
three
can we
that
win
you
the
just
league?
read out, was their squad value all more than us? So
yes,
it was.
Not by
they're
much.
the three teams that finished above us last season.
And also, by the way,
finish above us, we get Champions
is the
League.
squad value the cumulative transfer fees, or is the squad value the value of our team?
The squad value,
those are two different
as
things.
I understand it here, and literally, I'm just reading this off a fucking list, is literally the after the net spend and all of that.
What? So what we paid for?
Because
no, it's
the value of the players.
Well,
because the value of the players is good. That's a good thing. Yeah, that's the value of our players are very valuable.
Listen, you lot are being disingenuous. Your team should be challenging. That's
So
the truth
should yours.
You've been. I'm not even getting involved.
Yeah, you are.
Sorry, I'm dead.
Shouldn't Maresca be under pressure? I've got a question
I'm dead.
Maresca is under pressure.
How much pressure is Maresca under?
Well, do you know what? I did some research on this. His win rate is more than a lot of managers that were
Amarim's.
very, very good managers for Chelsea. Like, Jose second spell under us, he's got a better win percentage than that. Like, there's only a few managers like Conte,
Josh, what about from in the ground?
managers that have won the league that are
yesterday?
better.
What was the atmosphere like?
No. So that's the other side of the coin, right? So I wanted to give that caveat first. The other side of the coin is I've got guys shouting behind me. I'm in the East Stand upper. We look down onto the dugouts, shouting, Maresca, you need to go. Your tactics are shit. And a lot of fans have had enough. He is under pressure already. The fact of the matter is the Champions League is now the minimum expectation. The board have very clearly said that to him. Interestingly, Egbali and Co were actually in the dressing room again yesterday, right? So they actually went into the dressing room, which I don't know, it doesn't sound great.
No, it doesn't sound good.
So he is under pressure immediately. I think the only saving grace that Maresca has right now is who is the ample replacement for him, who's a manager on the market. And I think that might be his saving grace, but he's under pressure. I have to say the majority of Chelsea fans, obviously I mentioned the people in the stadium, the majority of Chelsea fans that I've seen are still happy to keep him for the time being.
I'm fascinated to see how this season goes because you are balancing Champions League football this time. It's a lot more intense than what it was last season for you lot. And Bayern Munich, games like Bayern Munich, it's going to take something out of you, although every game isn't like that level. We'll watch this space. We're going to touch on Liverpool before we end because Liverpool's chickens finally came home to roost after they dodged a few defeats this season with last minute goals. They probably should have dropped more, and kind of credit to players like Ekitike for stepping up immediately, unlike some strikers out there. But if I'll get on to him, if Alisson hadn't have had the game of his life, this could have been 4 or 5 by half time. Palace were absolutely unbelievable. 18 games undefeated now, and it's funny because their manager Glasner was the one that me and KG both agreed that Man United should have approached.
Yeah.
He's the bookie's favourite, by the way, to take over at Man United.
Well, understandably so, because he's got them coached so well and ironically employs quite a similar system to Amarim, but it actually just coaches them. Wirtz misses a good chance to get them back in the game, and basically he's coming under a lot more scrutiny now. Wirtz, originally it was he's going to take him time to settle in. A lot of people are like, where's the 116 million quality going to show here? What do you make of the situation with Wirtz?
I love that. You got to go around and listen to YouTube content creators. It's their club. They know what they're talking about when they talk about these players. But they're now saying we're shoehorning Wirtz in. We're like at the case of another player that should be in the team. And then when they start to say stuff like that, you already know they're done with it. He has to be on the bench now. He's spoiling the chances of other players, like the better players they have. When you're talking about should we put him in there and get rid of Szoboszlai or Gakpo, it's just not working at the moment. And yes, it's a record signing, so they're almost forced. They're in a rock and a hard place. We spent all this money. It has to work. So I'm going to keep trying to play him into form. And that can kill the morale of a team as well, really, because they have competition, but the finance guys are like, mate, that's 100 and something. You can't put down the bench. He has to be on the pitch.
Where they made so many signings as well, it's like it shines even more of a light on it, because whenever someone else plays well, say for example, before I get into him, even like Chiesa, who didn't start off well in his first season, you thought absolute flop, even him coming good. But Hugo Ekitike, for example, just makes Wirtz look even worse at this moment in time.
Yeah.
I called it to be fair before he came. I said he's just going to be another Timo Werner, this fella. I could tell. He's got that.
No, you genuinely did compare him to him. I mean, he's had some nice touches here and there, but even still, like, for the amount of games he's played, imagine Luis Diaz had have stayed and he'd have played those games instead. Guaranteed the output would have been higher. Fucking even the young lad, who was it? Harvey Elliott.
Yeah.
Even the young lad, even he would have contributed more, in my opinion. So it's alarm bells for sure. Isak had a good chance towards the end of the game that he fashioned for himself, missed it. He's rusty as fuck. His start of the season, I look at it now with a sort of a smile on my face, because I know he's a quality footballer and he's going to have success there, right? But do you know what? If he just behaved like a true professional and played for Newcastle and done all of his training with the team, he'd have hit the ground running and he'd be ready. And instead, he's fucked it for himself. And Ekitike, I think the ego battle between these two is going to be fascinating, because yes, Ekitike made himself look a mug, took his shirt off, but you know, the shirt off, that was a message. That was absolutely, I'm the man. I'm the fucking man. Yeah. I don't give a fuck who's here. And actually, you look at the way he started, Ekitike is offering a lot. There's games where Isak will just disappear in some games. That just happens, right? And that happens to a lot of players, but Ekitike is always just giving, constantly a threat. And right now, it's not even a question who I would start, in terms of on form. And this is the first time where and Ekitike is known for having a bit of an ego on himself anyways, but this is the first time where Alexander Isak in his career has been put as the main man, a lot of pressure immediately in a Champions League level, team. And he's got someone breathing down his neck who's massive quality himself, who's younger than him. And with Callum Wilson, you didn't have that. He was an older footballer. You knew you were the top dog. Yeah. I am fascinated to see how the battle of the egos is going to go. Do you have any opinion of what that's going to turn out like?
So can I jump in here? Because obviously they were looking at Ekitike to play a bit wide, but now because Florian Wirtz is stinking up the place, it gets interesting, because now we're talking about Ekitike wasn't in the squad because of what the stupid thing they done with his shirt thing. But now when he now returns, well, who's the three players on the pitch? It's either Isak or Ekitike. And what the Liverpool fans probably will feel now is, well, Ekitike's match fit. Obviously, Isak is the best out of the two of them. In terms
Why
of
obviously?
Historically.
But for Liverpool, Ekitike is the one that so far has looked like a more clinical player. He's looked like he's hit the ground running quicker. He's deserved the spot quicker. I think Ekitike is the one that should come back in, and it should be up to Isak to be able to prove it to come over.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's when it gets difficult, because you got players fighting for one spot and to be the guy. And you're right. Even that celebration was ridiculous, but he was trying to let everyone know, it's me. You don't do that against them, against the champ. Like, come on, guys.
When Liverpool set out to get Isak, do you not think it got to a point where it became somewhat of an ego transfer as much as it became a tactical one? And I think that after the start of the season, if you had have asked Arnie Slot, right, like, it's up to you now, do you really want to go all out? Like, we'll go all out if you really feel you need him, or do you think you're all right? I think he would have said to you, I think I'm all right. I think I'm all right with Ekitike.
And then go get Gay.
To be honest, and then gone and got
Well,
Gay.
I think they needed a body. They did need another striker, but the point is even Wirtz and Isak. KJ, he's just gone. Oh, he's coming back.
Oh, wait a second. I can't see his screen.
Not yet. All right. I'll keep going, bro. The point I'm making is, I think that if you look at both Isak and Wirtz, he's dropped. Isak and Wirtz, I think in retrospect, maybe they could have done things differently, is the point I'm making. Like, maybe if you'd have kept Luis Diaz or brought in a player similar to him, maybe if you'd gone for more of a different kind of striker than someone who's a like for like, who you're basically going to have this problem. They've created it's a good problem, but is it a good problem? Do you know what I mean?
If we're questioning the way that Chelsea are, building their squad, and we think, and I said this myself, right? I thought that Liverpool had an A-star window in terms of the way that they actually did it. Now looking at it, I think you've got to grade that differently, because they could have not invested over £100 million on one of those players. In a weird way, it doesn't necessarily matter either way, because I do think Wirtz will ultimately come good, and I think Isak will as well. He should do for that kind of money. If he doesn't, he's one of the biggest flops in Premier League history. I still think investing that money, you could have got probably one of the best centre backs in the world for that kind of money, couldn't you? And their outlook would have been very different. Because Konate isn't looking good either, is it?
Yeah, their defence is looking dodgy. And let's be real, Liverpool, they're a difficult club in the transfer market. Like, they haggled to the bitter end for Guehi when they could have just gone and got him so much earlier. They tried to be clever. They ended up fucking themselves. And now if you look at their weakness, the new fullbacks, I'm not saying they're bad players, but they've had a rocky start. It's not Trent and Robertson, and Konate is looking really sloppy. So if they've left themselves vulnerable this season, Liverpool.
Do you know, and good for them, because you know what, two things have happened. I believe you're absolutely right about the ego thing. Liverpool did send down a message, and it was a strong PR message. Liverpool are here. We get what we want. So it was Newcastle were trying to be stubborn, and we need to send Newcastle a message that we are the biggest club in England. We're the biggest club in the Premier League. It's our time now. And again, Liverpool fans were saying, we've never seen this from our club. There was a moment of when Newcastle dug their feet and said, he's not moving. It literally became about, well, we're going to show you why we're the bigger club, to the point of, we don't need this guy. This other one's hit the ground running. You got Rio coming through. Maybe they could have gone into the market and found another player, another wide player that could work.
One who would be happy sitting on the bench.
Exactly.
That's the point. You could have had someone who would have been more happy to do that. We do have to wrap this up, lads, because there are a couple of games today, especially Newcastle versus Arsenal.
Wow.
I'm a bit
Prediction?
worried. I'm hoping we win. I'm praying we win. We need a fucking...
I'll worry for you now, mate, because Arsenal, the ball's in their court in terms of getting back into this title race. A lot of people said the title race was over. Now it gets interesting.
I think they need a win. Yeah, they definitely need a win to capitalise on the defeat to Liverpool. But we'll make it hard for them, hopefully. And hopefully we just get some fucking service to our striker, because it's been brutal lately. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, everyone. Make sure you're watching KJ and Joy's insane live reactions every week. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Catch the Joy Night podcast. Favourite guest on that, Josh Aveste. We will see you on the next one. Cheers.
Please.